What is going on, Bardown Breakdown? And tonight we're hanging with the whole crew of Moving Boxes. Super excited to chat with another killer North Carolina band. I just love to do this, especially on episodes when Tom is not here, because Tom hates when I just keep talking about North Carolina bands. So I'm going to just keep putting them on here because North Carolina on top, baby.
Hell yes.
How are we doing tonight? So I guess let's just kind of introduce ourselves. We can kind of start right in the bottom middle. Who we got?
I'm on a phone. Is this me?
Oh yeah, sure. We'll start with you, Seth.
Fuck yes. I'm Seth. I play drums in the band.
Hey, I'm
Take
Sophie.
over.
I think we're all in different positions.
Vocals and bass.
My name is Nikhil. I play guitar in this band.
My name's JT. I play guitar and also do some vocals in the band.
Hell yeah. So I know you guys are kind of like a Raleigh/Charlotte band, right? So would you say that one area is more of a home base than the other, or you just adapt in both of them?
Currently have 2 people living in Raleigh and 2 people living in Charlotte. So we're a house divided over here.
I would say we function more as a Raleigh band. Just because we function a lot in like the NC State like college scene over there, which is super strong. But we're all from Charlotte originally.
So have you guys got to play that, like, I think it's called the Tree House or something like that? It's in the Raleigh area?
Yeah, there's a few of those like house show spots that are outdoors and they draw like a crazy amount of people at NC State. We haven't played the Treehouse specifically, but there used to be one called the Trailer Park and used to be one called Blue Door, and we played both of those and they were so crazy. They would pull like 400 or 500 people to like every show. Just like college students. It was so crazy.
The Raleigh house show scene is wild because like every calendar year it's a completely new set of venues. And everyone still draws like multiple hundreds of people guaranteed. It's ridiculous.
No, yeah, our first house show in Raleigh was at Trailer Park, and I remember there like it was just a crazy amount of people, and then someone set something on fire and was like waving it around in the air, and I was like, "This is the best thing that's ever happened to us, maybe probably."
I think that was the first show we ever had crowd surfers. Was at the trailer park.
Yeah,
That was one of the first shows. That was one of the first shows I played with Moving Boxes at all. And I showed up scared. And like 500 people showed up and people were setting shit on fire. And like, I was like, somebody came up to me and they were like, "Are you 21? And I was like, "No, I'm 18. And they were like, "You want a beer?" And I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" It was such a weird show.
Now, was the
said that you
person
were
that was crowd
21.
surfing spinning the fire towel?
That would have been
That would
fire.
have been awesome.
I don't think so. That would have been
Oh,
fire.
So
we need to get that to happen next.
these are like NC State house shows, the people that put these on?
Mhm.
They're not they're not like officially put on by the college at all, but they're always put on by like a house of students, and like everybody who comes out are students. It's interesting. I've never seen anything else like it. Like I've never seen another college scene that is that strong.
Yeah, I think that's why it changes so much too, because then people like move, and sometimes the people that inherit the house are like, "We're gonna keep it going," but it kind of fizzles quickly. Since everyone's like, leaving.
Yeah. Blue Door was crazy. The guy that moved into Blue Door was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep the venue going," and then he made it a dry venue and only booked like pop cover bands, and people stopped going to those real quick, which is really unfortunate because it was such a fun spot. And the new guy that runs it is really cool. Shout out Anjay. I love that guy.
Yeah, I feel like it's a hidden gem. Like I don't see or hear of any like touring bands that are trying to tap into this market. It kind of just gets overlooked.
Unfortunately, it's also really, really gatekeepy, and you can kind of only play there if you are a student or you know a student. Because even I was like trying to get my other bands in there a little bit. I was like, "Hey, I'm the guy from Moving Boxes," and they'd be like, "Fuck you." Wait, am I allowed to curse? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good.
I'm so sorry. No, but like it's really gatekeepy, and people would DM us and be like, "How do we get on these shows? They're crazy." And I'd be like, "I'm so sorry, you like can't. Like you can DM and try, but like it's real. That's the one thing I hate about it. It's very exclusive. And the shows are so fun, but yeah, if you don't go to NC State, you're kind of screwed.
Well, there's the hack. You just got to go to
Yeah.
NC State.
Yeah,
Just enroll in one class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have like a bunch
semester
of
and go.
Rodney Dangerfields like enrolling at NC State
Yeah,
to
you're just gonna have
play.
a bunch of people looking like me,
Yeah.
just ripping gigs at Blue Door. No, I'm enrolled in I don't know.
Yo, I'm taking
History of the
Introduction to
Beatles.
Basics right now.
Yeah.
That's the hack. That's the move. So I guess with you guys having two different home bases, how do you make the 2.5 hour drive work between the two between the two locations?
We never
Just
practice,
do it.
and we just tell the other members to suck it up whenever it's not in their city.
Yeah, it's actually so fucked up. We haven't carpooled together. And this is a piece of like
Oh my
contention for
gosh.
me. The last 7 shows, and I'm really sad about it. It's like 4 separate cars, but then we all get to hang out and it's fine.
I think one of the worst contenders for such an instance was we had like this pseudo weekender in September. It was like a Friday in Raleigh and then Saturday in Asheville. And so like we were all in Raleigh after the first night, after the show at the Portal. Yet somehow, due to like practices and moving and other sorts of situations, we all ended up taking our 4 separate cars over for like a 3.5 hour drive to Asheville from Raleigh.
Our carbon
was-
footprint as a band is we're gonna get canceled. It can't be right. Electric vehicle. Can we crowdfund? Okay, if you guys are listening to this podcast, we're crowdfunding for electric vehicles for all of us.
No, see, what you guys do is you got to get like little flyers, but they got to be of like the of this paper that they put wildflower seeds in it, so when people like throw it out, it just grows
Whoa.
seeds all over the place, and that's how you
so fire.
carbon offset is what these corporations are telling us.
Whoa.
So you offset
That's
your
true.
carbon.
We should post a receipt that we offset our carbon footprint after every show.
We could become the first carbon negative band, you know?
Whoa, no, but like we hang it over people's heads. Like if we do over 100 tickets at this show, we'll offset our carbon footprint. And if
Yeah.
This is
not,
actually kind of fire.
That's a pretty
For
good
every
incentive.
100 people that show up, you'll plant 1 tree.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to show my age because there were bands in the early 2000s, like Me Without You is historically one of those bands that their van, like it was a diesel van that could run off of like used and recycled vegetable oil. So they would go around to like fast food restaurants and get all their old, like greasy, gross, like burnt oil.
Grease pit
Yeah.
oil.
And literally use that
That's
to.
like the end of
That's
thinking Back to the Future when he puts like trash in the flux capacitor. Like
Yes.
this is crazy.
That's so fucking crazy. Imagine taking your car into a shop and you're like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with it, and they look in there and it's just like, it's
There's an onion ring stuck in the
It
gas line.
smells like burgers and shit. Like that is crazy.
No, like
Like a-
Set Your Goals did the same thing with their diesel van years ago, and whenever they pulled up to the venue, it would smell like French fries.
I'm just trying to get my French fries on, dog.
That's
Snack storage.
so funny.
Yeah, so they're
Imagine
doing their
using a
part.
snack store back to get it, and it's just all fuel.
Did you guys get that reference, or do I just sound crazy?
You want to
Oh
repeat it?
man.
I think that's the best thing you can do about a joke that doesn't land is just say it again.
Oh man.
You got to do it. Peer pressure now.
I said I'm just trying to get my French fries on, dog. Because Set Your Goals has that one song called Summer Jam, where in the middle of it, he's like, "I'm just trying to get my smoothie on, dog."
Oh yeah.
It's whatever. It wasn't even that funny. It's not that funny. We can move on. It's fine.
It's only a small portion of this population that listens to Set Your Goals will get it.
Well, Justin's one of those. So there you go. You made Justin's night.
I'm so glad.
1 in 6 is not
I think
bad.
I'm gonna not talk the rest of this.
Yeah, unfortunately, like the pop punk of the 2010s took a while for me to get back into. Like I was raised on pop punk, and then I definitely steered away from it when I was in college and everything. And then, yeah, like the Wonder Years was kind of my gateway drug back into pop punk. So like I kind of missed out on some of those, like A Loss for Words. I missed out until much later. Set Your Goals, like those kinds of bands.
Major League.
Yeah.
Major League.
So many good ones you missed out on, man.
I did.
And speaking of probably a band that Mikey missed out on, and I think like when we had played with when my old band had played with you guys, our guitarist actually mentioned that you guys reminded him a lot of like old Tiger's Jaw, which is another band that Mikey
Well,
probably missed out on. So, diving into what made moving boxes, like what are some of like your key influences in the scene, or like what would you say, for fans of you would
Uh,
like moving boxes if you kind of listen to these bands?
I think for fans of and influences are going to be enormously different
I love
because
that.
for the most part, me and Sophie do a lot of the like songwriting.
Mhm.
And she and I come from very different backgrounds, and then also the music that we write sounds nothing like the music that we listen to or create. Um, or I guess write and create. What you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, that was a lot of words. Sophie, you want to take over? I just said a lot of words.
I was gonna let you fly with this one. But no, yeah, I think when we first started the band, it was a fun like connection because I feel like JT had come from a more like metalcore, hardcore background, especially with bands he had worked with in the past.
Mhm.
And I had very much been in my like more like indie kind of like poppy side of things at that point, and then we've slowly just influenced each other. I feel like especially now it's like a lot more of the fifth wave emo is like my big influence is I love Sweet Pill, I love Pool Kids, like these newer bands coming up that are incredible. Um and I feel like that does influence my side of things a lot. But also JT is like one of those people where you could name any band ever and he would be like, "Oh yeah, I've listened to them." So I feel like it's hard to narrow him down.
We do have influences playlists up on our Spotify.
Well,
Minor plug. We all list some of our biggest influences on our Spotify playlists highlighted on our artist page, and you can kind of you can tell why we sound the way we do, because all of us just come from such different backgrounds and are bringing such weird flavors to the table that end up kind of peeking their way through in the final product.
Hell yeah. And I must comment, and I'm sure you get it all the time. Like Sophie, your vocal tone and like your just vocals in general really sound like nostalgic for like the early to mid 90s. So like even stuff when I was a little kid that we would hear on the radio, right? Like it was like popular at the time. And I'm sure that's like a pretty standard like go to of, when people are like, "Oh, your voice reminds me of this." I'm sure you get it all the time. But it's super cool to hear with like twinkly guitars and like Midwest emo music.
yeah, thank you
I
so
have to
much.
ask you something.
Oh. Sorry.
Oh, we have a question.
No, just based on what you just said, Michael. um, do you listen to the Cranberries?
So like that's one of the references I'm sure that you guys get all the time. And like
This
I
is
wouldn't
All the
say
time.
I wouldn't say I listened to the Cranberries, but like when I was a little
Sure.
kid in the 90s, like yeah, they were on the radio and I know their songs, and it does sound like like nostalgic of that time period, like the grungy kind of vocals, grungy female vocals of the 90s.
Mike, I'm like 99% sure you brought up the Cranberries because you guys like did a live reaction to one of our songs that we released a while ago, and I'm almost positive that you brought up the Cranberries when you listened to that song.
It might have been. Like I said, like I'm
Feel
not
like I remember that.
necessarily a fan of them, but I know what they sound like, and I was like, "Damn, this sounds super super cool and just like 90s nostalgic."
Yeah.
See, for me, it's like whenever anyone says like 90s in reference to like a female fronted band, I immediately go to Hole. Like
Oh,
super
Mm.
grungy, Courtney Love, just and it's funny, like as I was listening to the stuff that you guys had put out back in 2024, and even when we were playing with you guys, as I was listening to it, I'm like, this has like a little bit of Hole vibes, a little bit of like you can hear a little bit of like that pop influence that you were saying, Sophie. So it's like it's really cool just like hearing that kind of like mix of all these bands, and it's reminiscent of like I remember like a few years ago there was this like not a trend, or I guess it could have been a trend of like everybody comparing any band with a female vocalist or female fronted band as Paramore. And it's like break out of that because there's so much more. And like as you guys mentioned, Pool Kids, and as you guys mentioned, Sweet Pill. Um, there's a band up in Maryland, and I can't remember what their name is, but they're
Keep your
very
keep your
much
secrets.
like no. It's they're very like No Doubt esque,
Fun.
and it's like they mix like this cool like punk ska together. And gosh, I can't remember what their name. They're from Baltimore. Someone's gonna just like rip me in the comments about this. And then there's like Pool Kids is one of those bands that it was funny when Out of Time played Miami forever ago. I grew up down there. One of my like closest friends growing up down there was in this band at the time called Super Haunted, and it was very much like a twinkly guitar Midwest emo style band. And it was funny, I was at the merch table and it was like this like small little venue, and I was chatting with somebody at their merch table because I was like, oh, like how do you guys know Nick and the guys in Super Haunted? And she was kind of like, oh, like, you know, I've known Nick for a little bit, and he's like we were like really good friends, but he helps me out with my band every once in a while. And she was like, and he introduced me to Andy Anaya, who's playing in my band now too. And it was just like a really cool twist of fate. And then, you know, it happens that it was oh gosh, is it Candace from Pool Kids?
Christine, right?
Christine from Pool Kids, yes. I was like, gosh, why can't I remember her name right now?
Candace
And
is
it was
from Woolbright, I think.
yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So it was Christine from Pool Kids just sitting there, and we were just like chatting the entire night and shooting the shit. And then Nick sent me over their some of the stuff that they had not released yet. This was like 2019, and I was just listening to it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like these guys are going to be the next like big thing.
Yup.
And then like fast forward to Fest like a few years later after the pandemic, and like they were ripping a show at Fest, and I was just like, these guys are huge. So it was just like a really cool moment, and now they're engaged. So I'm like, you guys are like the most adorable couple, and they both rip on guitar. So it's just like it was like a really cool, like wholesome moment. Like me, like that's how I was introduced to Pool Kids originally.
Yeah, that
That's
rocks.
so cool. That's so awesome.
Does Nick play in any projects now?
No, I wish he so similar to what you guys were talking about with Blue Door, he had a house in Miami called we called it the Miller House because he lived on this street called Miller Road, and it was like this like mid-century modern home that he got from his grandparents, and it was like a low roof, and we would rip shows every New Year's Eve, and he's kept the tradition alive. So I think like a few years ago, Andy Anaya from Pool Kids and Dikembe and every other possible band that you could possibly imagine. He used to have a band called Kit Fisto after the Jedi. And
Yeah.
it was just a shred band, like no vocals. They would just sit there and jam. And they did a reunion show a few years ago, and people were crowd surfing, and like you were literally on the ceiling when like people would lift you up in the house. And it was just like it was so much nostalgia to that, and I'm so glad that he's still carrying it on, even though I think I forget how old I am because he's a month younger than me, 37. And he's still doing it, and it's still wild. So I love what he's been doing, and like the stuff that he's done for like the Miami scene over the last like 20 years has been like really cool to see. But yeah, shout out to Nick Dotterbaum and Christine and Pool Kids and Miller House, because it's just like it's still going, and it's just one of the coolest spots in the fucking world.
That's so sick.
That's so
He's got a
dope.
2-story cactus in the backyard that we try to get people to climb when
Wow.
I love that music scenes are always just like like there's always that one person that is just got it on their back, I feel like, for certain places. And like obviously like a collection of people all like making things happen. It's awesome. But like I
It's
love when
Seth for
you're
us.
it's North
We
Carolina
know him
band.
actually.
It's so funny.
Twirling in his chair.
I know. So
Dude,
we
I
gotta
love
ditch
it.
bud.
I love a little spinny chair.
Yeah, and it's cool, like, some of those people that were kind of holding the scene on their backs in the early 2000s when I was going to shows on Long Island, like turned their careers of being like local DIY promoters into like legit being some of the biggest promoters in the music industry now. So like you can go on and like actually make a career from some of the things you learn in this like DIY scene. And it's cool to see like some of those people go on to do like really big things, and like they're not like celebrities where they're walking down the street and people recognize them, but like if you're in the music world, you know them, and it's cool to see where they came from.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's so sick.
So
That is very cool.
keeping it on moving boxes, I was mentioning how something popped up on my stories either yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't know. It kind of read a little cryptic. I was like, "Is this the end? Like, what are we?" It kind of like confused me at first. I was like, "I hope this is not the end. I think they're coming on our podcast in 2 days." But then, like, does seem like you got some new music out. So I guess tell us what you have planned there, and was it trying to be like a little cryptic, or am I just totally reading that wrong?
So we've got a new song coming out on April 3rd called Post Traumatic Swag Disorder. It is the first single. You're hearing it here first, folks. The first single from our new album called Nothing So Certain. It is an album about loss, and so we are kind of playing that up a little bit with the single release. So we were like, oh, everything must end. There's nothing so certain. But then the album's called Nothing So Certain because it's an album about loss.
I
Who
get
came
it.
up with the song title?
Post traumatic swag disorder was me, I think.
Yeah, that
And
makes
what's the-
sense to me.
Is there like a story behind it, or is it just kind of like I lost all my swag and now I'm like having stress about it?
So we have
Unless I experienced trauma and it made me less funny.
Usually it's the
Really
other way
pushing
around.
back against the narrative there.
So it's funny, like you guys are keeping these like long funny song titles alive, and I feel like it's so rare nowadays to have songs like this, and you'll have like some bands come out and they'll really like try to keep it alive, and then they'll come out with like a super serious song. Is that going to be kind of like the MO going forward, is like, having songs like Slap Your Mama Seasoning, Post Traumatic Swag Disorder, and just kind of like, keeping up with the funny names? Because I honestly think like that genre, I don't even think it's a genre, but that mindset needs to come back. Like I need long song titles that don't make any sense.
I don't think
I
we'll ever
think-
get rid of the funny song titles because our instinct is to actually go worse than the ones we are releasing, and then we end up censoring ourselves and being like, no, that's
too far.
that's too silly. We have to scale that. Like the second single that we're gonna release, the original title for it was 8 Gigabyte, short for 8 Gigabisexuals.
which means
Yeah.
nothing, by the way. I
It
think
means nothing.
someone say 8 gigabytes, and I was like, that kind of sounds like bi. I'm bi. Let me put that in the song title, dog. And then I was like, I don't think we can do that. So now it has a series title. But yeah, I feel like we have fun with it, and I think sometimes we try to reel it back if it is something that is a pretty serious song, and we don't want to undercut like all of
meaning.
them in the album. But hopefully that makes those ones hit even harder, because it's like, this one's just called Chloe. What does that mean? And then yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the album there, it's probably majority silly song titles, but there are like a handful of some serious ones in there.
Mhm.
But I think maybe just with the verbiage we chose, it feels pretty seamless to me, like the back and forth of serious and not serious. Um, that being said, as far as like the overall mindset of like fifth wave emo bands going into it, I don't think it's real difficult to find any bands with goofy song titles. Everyone's doing it right now. Like I don't know, everyone is doing it. Like Army Amphibians, Tiny Voices, Mway, Enzo.
Yeah.
I think we're at a surplus right now. So
We need it. Get more of it. Like I think like one of the more like larger bands that are really kind of carrying it too is like Bill Murray have really been kind of like
Yeah.
oh
keeping
god,
the
yeah.
keeping the cranking the hog the entire time. But it's just so funny when you see it, because it sticks in your head and you're just like, oh yeah, like what's that Moving Boxes song? Oh, Cries in French. Like it hits so well, and it's just such a funny one. It's a funny inside joke for you guys, but then it's a cool way to get fans interested in kind of like coming up with like the weird lore behind the band, and you could be like, I'm never gonna tell you why we called it this, but keep the lore going.
Yo.
And just create like subreddits of just random stories about like Moving Boxes and just keep it going.
Some of them do actually have stories behind the titles. Some of them don't, but some of them very much have stories. Yeah.
Hopefully you didn't slap your mama though.
No.
Okay.
I just like the seasoning.
There is a big
Um,
story behind that song as a whole, though.
we do tell this story at all of our
Every
shows.
time.
That song was originally well, I tell this story. Everyone else is sick of it. I think it's hilarious, so I still tell the story. Maybe this will be our time to put it to rest. But we wrote that song for a Pitbull charity compilation, and then we didn't finish it in time. And so the Pitbull charity compilation tape got produced without us. But when we first wrote that song, we were like, wouldn't it be really funny if we wrote a song that was so heavy we could never put it out because it wouldn't sound like us, and we called it Pits for Pits. So the original, like that song sounds the way it does because we set out to write a song that was too heavy to be Moving Boxes and called it Pits for Pits. And then we were at Studio 4 and we had an extra day, and that was the one song we were like, yeah, we can track this. Let's just do it. And the only logical next step was to call it Slap Your Mama Seasoning.
Nice. So me not thinking Pitbull the dog, me thinking Pitbull the artist, and you should move that into the story instead. We're doing a charity for Mr. Worldwide.
Dude,
Yeah.
that would have been so much sicker. I love dude, I fuck with dogs, but that would have been so fucking funny. Pitbull hit us up.
He's actually got a feature on this
You can do
upcoming album.
things for Pitbull.
Okay.
Pitbull was down on his luck. We wanted to help him out. We rallied the gang.
I'm leaking this shit here. There's a Pitbull feature on the new album.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
We took it from Mr. 305 to Mr. Wide.
Yo,
There we go. 305 to 704. That's right.
Yeah.
Upgrades.
So is there a story behind like Swoldemort then? Or is that just some dude that just lifts too much?
Oh, there is a story behind Swoldemort.
Oh,
Sophie, tell the
see?
story.
So fun fact, I listened to this Harry Potter fan fiction podcast. It's great. I'd highly recommend it. But there's this one episode where like one of the main characters was Voldemort, but he was just really, really, really buff and ripped. Um, and he had a gang, and it was called Swoldemort and the Honescones. And so originally I wanted to name the song Swoldemort and the Honescones, and they were like, let's take it down to Swoldemort. And I just so it's just Swole Voldemort. Yeah.
So Harry Potter fan fiction live journal Tumblr, it's all on you guys.
We should do a sequel to Swoldemort called Harry Squatter.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, I wish that we released music in the era where someone could make us their MySpace song. Because I think that would be really cool.
Or it's so ridiculous.
It was a good time.
Wait,
Like
is Harry Squatter from the fan fiction also? Or did you just come up with that?
Oh, I just came up with that. I mean, I think I saw it at a TikTok like years ago.
That's fire.
But yeah, the MySpace song was so just important in that time period. Like you put a lot of thought into it and like go into your friend's page to see like what they updated their songs to be, and like so many great bands were building their careers off of the MySpace world, and like it was such a social media platform for musicians, and like it was definitely music first and then like social media like next. So like I would love for something like that to come back. Like it's a shame that social media is just garbage now. It's not even like it's more of like a advertising platform than it is anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a pipe dream to get anywhere near that era again, just because of, like you said, the advertising and stuff. The commodity is people's attentions now, and so advertising is the avenue to make money off of that. I guess they sort of tried to address that because now you can like put songs in like your Instagram profiles, but nobody's like looking at that.
Well, because it
Nobody
used to like
cares.
just automatically play. Like on MySpace, you went to the page and it just started playing. So like now, who's actually going and clicking that to play that song? Probably no one.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And you would always have to like figure out how to turn down your speakers too, because it was never like you never had a volume like key on your keyboard. You had to physically go to the speaker and turn it down. So mine would always be blasting from like earlier when I was listening to music. And then you would like go to someone's page and it would be like 15 by Taylor Swift or something, and it would just be blasting, and I'd be like, no, I'm not a poser. I gotta turn this down.
And everyone knows
good.
exactly who you're stalking on MySpace too, which is
yeah.
Oh, that fucks. I didn't even
Yup.
think about that.
And it would play
Damn.
like we would have like our sidekicks, and it would just automatically start playing if you had the volume on. So we would always keep our phones on vibrate.
Jeez.
It was wild. Like that entire period of time was wild because we started getting internet on our phones. We started getting like AOL Instant Messenger that we could just go right to our phones and start typing on it. Like it was wild. But yeah, you could not social media stalk because someone's song would just start playing. And if you were like me, I would always have the song embedded into the HTML, so you could never see the player to see who was actually like what the song was.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Like we were doing like CSS and HTML coding. We had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
I would be walking around every day listening for my song, like ears peeled, be like, all right, who's checking it out? Who's looking at the
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys kind of missed out on that time-wise, like being a little too young for the MySpace era.
Yeah, unfortunately. Or probably fortunately.
Yeah, it was.
I would say unfortunately.
Yeah, I would say unfortunately.
I think the only thing that you guys missed out on was like the drama that came with adding people to their top 8. And then
Wait, top 8. Wait, sorry, I'm showing my age. What top 8? What top 8 other profiles?
No, yeah, you could stack your friends' profiles.
The hell?
And
Wait,
people
I'm
would
just
get
figuring out about this now.
people would get so mad. Like
I'm like making a scene. That's crazy. Why did they do that?
I don't know.
That's
And you would get like you would go through and you would literally like code your entire page on the back end, like making the colors, the fonts, doing all this stuff, and then someone would be like, why am I not in your top 8? Or why did I
don't know
drop
why
from
that-
top 3?
I don't know why that hit me so hard, but that's a crazy idea.
Yeah.
Yo,
So
the
that's
hell?
what it would do. And then you'd get like a weird like then your friends would put like some dashboard confessional like away message on their AOL Instant Messenger.
Dude, if I was having a bad day already and somebody took me out of their top 8, I think it would do bad things for me, dude.
Yeah,
That's
dude. Like
crazy.
that's
I'd
what's
blow
what
my shit
happened.
smooth
Yeah,
off.
And I think I feel like that wasn't uncommon for like this era of the internet. I'm also thinking of like Tumblr and stuff, right? Because that was also another thing that I personally missed out on. But yeah, I don't know. Did that
I
make
did not miss out on
an impact
Tumblr.
on you guys?
So
Seth, you
Tumblr-
already... Oh, sorry.
no, you're good, Sophie. You go.
Oh no, I was gonna say, Seth, you already sad post on main, so I would hate to see your MySpace activity.
Yeah, I know. If you guys, I don't know if anybody, either of you guys follow my personal on Instagram. It's a crazy time. But,
Yo,
That'd be so fun. Oh my gosh. Like I can only
Yeah.
just imagine just vibe coding your entire MySpace and just having like
dude, my MySpace would have been fucking crazy. You guys should be
You would've
glad I
been-
wasn't around back then. What do you say?
I said you would have ranked your bands as your top 8 instead
No,
of
I know.
people.
Dude, yeah, taking a band out of my top 8. Fuck that.
Yeah. So imagine the drama in the scene because your band page also had a top 8 and it would always be your friends' bands. So imagine that drama. Like you already
Whoa.
know that like musicians already have this ego about them. So imagine taking like your top 8 bands on your band page and just moving them around and they would be like, what the hell, dude? Like,
Dude,
Yo.
negativity sells and keeps people scrolling. So I'm so surprised that Instagram and shit doesn't have that. Because, damn.
it should. And then Tumblr was really cool just because Tumblr introduced us to all of these like UK bands. So like Neck Deep got really famous because of Tumblr. Basement was huge because of Tumblr, because there were all these bands that we weren't necessarily hearing because like what did we have? We didn't really like Spotify was not a thing yet. So we would go and it'd be like, oh, like what's this song? Like what's this EP Rain in July? Like, oh, let me listen to this. Like, what's this? Like this song called Fading by this band called Basement. That's a dumb name. And you'd start listening to it and you'd be like, oh my God, like why aren't they touring in the United States? Like that's the stuff that Tumblr was really hitting. So like that's how I found out about Balance and Composure and the Wonder
Yep.
Years and Major League and Tiger's Jaw and like all. Am I naming every band from Philly right now? No,
That
but
is
like
a
that's
big band, though.
yeah. And it was cool. Like that was when like social media was truly like social, like really, because you would find out about these bands that your friends were listening to and it wasn't gatekeepy. It was very much like, hey, like I like this band, you would like them too. And I kind of miss that nowadays. And I feel like that's kind of like something that we need. And you guys talking about like the house shows that are going on at NC State, like that's so reminiscent of like the scene that I grew up in and the scene that probably Mikey grew up in too on Long Island, just going to someone's basement or backyard. He's like, no, I never did that.
Because like
We would go to church shows.
well, yeah, Long Island with the houses are just too close to each other. Like they're on top of each other. That like the second you try to have a house show, that shit's getting shut
The
down.
cops are coming.
So like yeah, you saw those viral Take It Back Sunday and like Koyo backyard shows. Well, they happened at
Yeah.
like 3 p.m. like
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
somebody did get arrested at Trailer Park for playing, and then they didn't stop playing, and then they just got arrested on stage. That shit was so crazy. But for the most part, Raleigh, they don't care about the noise ordinance, so all the house venues are fine.
yeah, that's
And
awesome.
they're pretty far out there too. Like, especially like if you're playing a house show in like Durham or something, like,
Oh yeah, nobody lives in Durham.
yeah. So you could just go out there and play all night.
I love Durham though, but yeah.
Well, it was kind of like when I went to the den for the first time, but it was like the old spot, and it was like literally in
yeah.
his house, and
Yeah.
that shit was awesome. That was like one of the most beautiful experiences ever catching a show there. I was like, this is
Shout
wholesome.
out the Den. The Den is still great. I love
Shout out
Den.
the den.
Amen.
Shout out to the bodega behind the den. Because
Shout out. Yes.
Because
Yeah.
not only can you get some like awesome snacks, but they also sell the banned Kinder Sorpresa eggs that are like,
Yeah.
banned in the United States. I don't know if I'm going to get them in trouble, so I'm not letting out addresses or anything. But I used to eat those as a kid all the time, and I walked in. I was like, "Yo, do you have any more of these?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let me go get them." And he walks in the back, and he comes back with 3 boxes. And he's like, "How many do you want?" I go, "All 3." He's like,
Hell
"What do you
yeah.
mean?" I go, "Boxes, all 3 in the van. Let's go." I was just literally handing them out at the den to people.
That's so awesome. That's so tight.
Yeah, Tony's doing God's work. Glad that
Mhm.
they're back and doing shows again, because there was that little window where they had to shut down. So it's glad to see that they're back.
I was at the show.
Man.
I was at the show that got them shut down, and it was fucked up because it was like the sickest show ever, and it was just that like the Den was having a hard time getting people to come out to their shows, and then they did a show that had so many people at it that the city was like, "Wait, what's this?" And then they shut them down, and I was like, "Damn, they had a good show, and that was the death of them." That sucks. But they're back now, and it's beautiful. They're selling out a lot of shows, which is cool.
Hell yeah. Now, just to bring it back to the album, I know we talked about the silly titles, but like,
So,
did you guys go into a studio together for an extended period of time? Who did you work with? All that good stuff.
Moving Boxes is a very strange band because we typically don't write songs together at all unless it's me and Sophie writing together. And when that happens, it's one of us writes 3/4 of a song and then brings it to the other one and says, "Here, fix this." And so me and like most of this album was done either me alone or Sophie alone, just kind of demoing in our rooms, and then we'd kind of email it back and forth through Google Drive or whatever.
I also was
And
overseas
then
while we wrote this album, which made
yes,
it
that
even
is
harder.
true.
Yeah. Sorry.
And then once we had the whole record demoed out, we sent it to Nick from the Wonder Years, who we worked with on our single Bed Bath and Beyond My Breaking Point, and then our first LP, The Things We Leave Behind. Um, and he's just been such a trustworthy person and really cares about our vision and cares about the music that we're making. And so when we went back to make this album, we knew we had to go back and work with Nick again. So sent him all the demos. He gave us some feedback on the songs and did some pre-pro work here and there and added a lot of really, really cool stuff. And then we tracked the whole thing at Spice House over in Sanford with our dear friends Anant and Jose. Um, and truly the best recording studio experience I've ever had in my life. I mean, those guys are incredible and they spend insane amounts of time to make sure that your project turns out perfect. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we
we
did.
had a really, really good team backing us up on this record.
Yeah. The recording was like what 12-hour days for 6 days in a row to just get everything because we were going based off just time and they wanted you to, give us like the best deal possible, and it was a long few days. I watched all of Severance while we were in
Severance
the
is so
recording
good.
studio.
I finally watched Severance.
Oh
That
my
shit
god,
is
you
so
watched it
tight.
too?
Yeah.
Seth, call me
Me
after
and Tabitha
this,
watched
please.
it. I will. Well, I'm not done. I'm
Did
not done.
anyone
But
else
Tabitha
though,
and I
like
had started it.
when they went into like that? Was it the upside down or well, not the upside down, but the other world where they're like working or whatever? Like whenever Adam Scott like went there, I like felt it in my body. Like, did anyone else feel that? Like
Like when the camera shifts
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
angle and then you see like his face change,
and
like
you
in the
feel-
elevator
yeah,
you're talking
that's
about.
yeah, like it
Yeah.
freaked
Yeah.
me out. Like I like felt like I was going there. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like the sound effect of it.
Visual
Yeah,
storytelling.
that's how it feels when I go to work. Yeah, I don't know.
When
True
you
that.
go
Same
from
thing.
your bed to your desk and log in online and stuff.
That's
and
me.
Yo, chill.
That's working from home. Like that's I had to commute 5 minutes.
No.
So how did you guys get connected with Nick?
Okay, this is a really silly story and it makes me feel like a 5-year-old every time I tell it.
That's
But
fine.
the Wonder Years are like my all-time favorite band. I could probably name you every song they've ever put out, but I, of course, being a huge fan of the Wonder Years, followed all of their personal social medias. And several years ago, Nick had posted on his Instagram and was just like, "Hey, looking for some smaller, like younger bands to work with. I want to build up my chops and send me your demos. I'll pick a couple bands and we'll get some work done." So just on a whim, I emailed him a couple of demos. At this point we had released like 5 songs total. We were a very young band. I was still in high school when I sent this email, um, and I was sitting down at dinner with my family in high school, and I get an email that is from Nick Steinborn, and I throw my phone across the room and just like flip my shit for a second. I go over and read the email, and he's like, "Hey, I actually found you guys on Bandcamp a couple weeks ago. This is so crazy. I love your singer's voice. Would love to work with you. Would you guys want to do like a single or a record? I can either do a single like in the next week or two before I leave for tour, or we can just wait a couple months and do a record." And I lied straight to his face and said, "Yeah, we've got a single ready." And emailed the band group, or I texted the band group chat and was like, "Guys, we need to have
Need
a
a
single
single.
ready in the next 24 hours." So they came over. We wrote, recorded, and emailed Nick a single in 24 hours. Bed Bath and Beyond My Breaking Point came together in like a total of 24 hours. We recorded the entire thing in my attic, sent it to Nick. The recordings were terrible. Nick made them sound great. And then when we were ready to do an LP, we hit him back up and we were like, "Hey, It was great working with you on that single. Want to do a record? And he was super down, and he made that record the amazing record that it is today.
Yeah.
So
We
TikTok
still
idea.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say just TikTok idea. Reenact that entire sequence, but to the I think I'm gonna die in this house. Like you just like are sitting there and you're just like, yeah, sure. We've got a single for you, and then you gotta text everybody.
Yeah.
We need a single in 24 hours, and it's just each one of you like at different phases of recording everything, and you're just like, why did we do this to ourselves? And then it's just
Yeah.
Bad Bath Beyond My Breaking Point.
You're going to see that on our TikTok in about 3 hours.
Just give me credit.
It's
That's
gonna be
all
the
I
first
want.
TikTok we've uploaded in like 8 months. I think,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
That would kill. Like, and especially with that song title, like Chef's
Yeah.
Kiss.
That's so
Yeah,
good.
kids would eat that up.
So the new album
Dang, yeah.
brought back the dream team, and we're starting to get some singles out, in the next 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks, it's the first one's dropping.
Yep. 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks after that, we got another single. And then a week after that, we got another single. And then a week after that, we got another single.
Nice.
Hell yeah! And album, no date yet, right? Are we thinking
May 22nd.
May 22nd. All right.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Hell yeah!
We
This is
need to
our
have, like,
official
a
announcement.
gong
We
or
have not posted
something.
about this anywhere. You guys get the inside scoop.
Love that. We love when we get that. Now, are you going to do any music videos or anything like that for any of these releases?
Sophie, are we going
I
to do
am
any
so
music
pro
videos?
music video. I want to get it out there. I really want to do something of this sort because I think like I don't know, the vision has been pretty clear since I hopped on board with this project of like what it was going to be and like getting a push in that direction. I think I don't know, there's been a lot of investment monetarily, emotionally, in any right for this, and so I think it's only fair to do it justice with some nice visuals, just some visualizers of some kind to really propel it and give it the push it deserves. That's my take. What do you guys think?
Hey, Sophie, are we doing any music videos?
Hey, I'd love to do a music video.
You
I know she's
lie.
lying right now.
You
That's a
lie.
bold-faced lie.
You lie.
Wait, what is this?
I just called it intervention.
We had a conversation like a month ago where you were like so anti-music video.
I have zero recollection of saying that ever. And I bet I did.
She's like, I'm not refuting it.
No, like you're probably right. You know what? I'm gonna backpedal on that one. Let's do a music video, guys.
I guess we're doing music
Deep
videos.
peer pressure works, guys. Contrary to
Okay, so I
popular
think the
belief.
strat is we just get Sophie on a podcast and then convince her to do the things that she
Publicly
doesn't want to
shame
do.
Do
her.
anything, yeah.
Just
That's awesome.
pure shame.
Yo.
It is kind of a
No,
dumb
So
it's
where's the
art.
really
music video going to be
difficult
filmed
for-
at?
Like not
Where's the music
as many
video going to be
bands.
filmed at, huh?
Not as many bands are investing their money and time into music videos, and I do think that there's
No.
still a place for them. I do think that it's something that bands should continue to do, especially with like the ability to clip them into like 15-second little clips that you can then recycle them on social media and all that stuff. Like there's a lot of just basically easy content you could
Yeah.
take from it then.
Yeah.
It's true. That seems a little bit kind of like gamey to me, but like but there is value to that in this like social media economy. You're absolutely right. I don't know. I like the art direction of it, but like you said, it's really difficult like budget wise, and also it's really difficult for all four of us to be in the same spot at once. So I guess that's another constraint that we have in particular.
Yeah.
But yeah, just for
Yeah,
the
we're
sake of
poor
having
and-
direction, I think it'd be really meaningful. Sorry to see you guys. That's all I had to say.
I was just gonna say we're poor and we live 3 hours away from each other, so planning anything is difficult. Like we spent the better part of a year just trying to pay for this album. I think it was over a year we've been saving for this album. And we just paid it off like a couple weeks ago after working on this album for like a year and a half.
Hey, but it's gonna be yours at the end of the day, right? Because like
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's so many bands that like just sign their lives away because a label will front you that money, and like bands like, yeah, now we can go into the studio, and it's like, yeah, but and we just literally talked to like Autopilot Off, like members of Autopilot Off from the early 2000s who were literally on a major label, and when new music gets released, like their vinyl just got pressed in 2026, like they're still not getting a penny from that because it's still going to the label. They're still paying back those recordings. Like, how shitty is that?
Oh.
So, like, I know it
Yes.
sucks up front to have to come up with that yourselves, but, like, I don't know, signing away
But
to a
it's
label
yours.
sometimes, just giving it away and then never going to reap any benefits of it.
No.
Or you get paid 10% of all of all the pennies from Spotify, and while they take
Yup.
90% of it.
Yup.
It's wild sometimes, but I think that's that's the beauty of just kind of staying DIY, is that you're able to control exactly what you want your music to do, to say. Like, if you want to press it, you can press it. If you want to do something with it, you have that opportunity to do it, and it's yours. So I'm always like a weird proponent when it comes to this stuff. It's always just like, keep your art and don't ever like give it up for any reason. So how many music videos are you gonna do? Like 10, 11?
Yeah.
80.
6 or 7.
Oh, God. The 6-7 thing I thought was finally gone because I'm a 5th grade
Nope.
teacher, but way to just bring it back.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm a teacher too. It's so bad.
It was bad for a while, and it did slow down the last month or so. So I was like, oh, thank God this thing's gone, because I'm also the math teacher. So can you even
Ugh.
imagine being a 5th grade math teacher? Like, every answer is 6-7.
Yep.
So
Did they try to like?
Oh my God.
Get...
I was teaching one of my kids Banquet by Block Party, and the intro riff goes from 6 to 7 back and forth. And I wrote out the tab for one of my kids, and I put it in front of him, and he just looks at me, and we exchange this silent, like, I'm willing him to not do it, and he's like physically restraining himself from flying off the handle. Oh my God, man, it's brutal out here.
it sure is. We went to there was a women's basketball game at Davidson College, and they had all the schools go out to it, and literally, and college basketball doesn't really get that high of scores. Like, to get to 67 points in college basketball is pretty rare, but they did it at that freaking game. And like the point guard or whatever, like, drained a 3 to make it go to 6-7, like to 67. I've never heard an arena get so loud in my life, of these like 10-year-olds just like, 6-7, like, losing their minds. It was crazy.
It was like 7
think
years
it's
ago
an-
trying to get a kid not to do a Fortnite dance.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's it. I think it's an interesting cultural phenomenon now, because kids aren't laughing at 69 anymore.
Now it's 6-7.
It's 6-7, yeah. You can really see like a generational divide, I think. Being like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I guess. I don't know.
But you know what never goes away? Those stupid S's that every kid like first learns how to draw. Like, when I still see those, I'm like, who taught
yeah.
you that? Like, how is that still
Nah,
around?
that shit's
Dude.
tight. That shit's tight. I stand by that.
I just bought this record like a couple days ago. Do you know the band California Cousins?
I don't
No.
know.
AKA Cali Cousins? All right, then this probably doesn't hold any like emotional weight to you. I like on the spine of the record where it has like their band name, the S is one of those like 3 S's. I was like, you goofy guys.
Snuck it in there.
They just suck it in there. Like, nobody would have noticed that. And like, it's not on digital, obviously, because digital, like, I'm gonna have a spine. But yeah.
Someone made a clock, like a wall clock, and it's like, it has like the 1 line, and then the 2 lines, and then the 3 lines, and it goes all the way through. And then like 12 o'clock is like
jeez.
the completed S.
That's
And I'm
so
like,
sick, actually.
I kind of want this.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
that's awesome.
Do you think it's international? Do you think like kids over in England are drawing those?
Surely.
Ooh.
Okay.
I say England, yeah.
That's like
Like,
everyone.
you want me to go country by country? I'll tell you. I'm just kidding.
Every kid thought they were like a graffiti artist when they did those. They thought they were the coolest. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
I have someone I could ask about this. I'll do some research and get back to you guys.
now, do you work at a school of rock, or like a similar kind of company?
Yeah, it's similar. I mean, not really. It's like a virtual. They connect me with students, and I drive to their houses and teach in-home lessons.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I thought it would be such a cool business idea to have a venue slash school of rock. Like, how awesome would that be? Where like high school kids and things like that actually run the venue, like doing sound, mixing, doing the lights, like doing that whole.
It would be cool.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That would be really cool.
I thought like that would be such a slam dunk. And then when touring bands come through, you automatically have like, and also it would need to be like a DIY space, right? So like, I mean, all ages space. So like having just built-in high school kids coming to all your shows, like imagine being a touring band and you're like, yeah, this is guaranteed going to have like 200 people at it because the whole
Yeah.
entire high school scene's coming out for it.
Yeah.
I'm sure just
Man, that'd be
liability
awesome.
wise would be the headache, but that needs to happen. I feel like that
The
needs to be
insurance
the
and stuff,
the
yeah.
insurance, but
Actually, fun piece of band lore. This band only exists because of a school similar to School of Rock. Me and Sophie met at a very similar school called Learn Music over in Davidson. And it's kind of a similar thing to School of Rock where we do the individual private lessons and then we have the band kids and the we like I got my start teaching by teaching like the kid bands, and me and Sophie taught at the same school. And when I was looking for people for my emo band, I was like, "Hey, my coworker is like a really awesome singer and songwriter and guitar player." Um, and yeah, so Moving Boxes only exists because of Learn Music.
I love that.
There you
I
go.
wonder how many like of those bands are household names, right? Like how many other bands have started because of programs like that? I'm curious if there's
No,
others.
surely there's more than that. More than us. There's gotta be.
Now, sleeper spot, since you mentioned Davidson, there's this venue that's in Cornelius that I feel like
I already know what you're gonna say.
needs to
Are
have.
you gonna say the boatyard?
Yes, it needs to have
Okay.
freaking shows at it. Like, why are there not shows happening there? It's such an epic spot. But all they
There are shows happening there, but they're like Beach Boys
Yeah.
tribute bands.
Like,
They're-
Nothing wrong with the
That's
Beach Boys
awesome.
tribute bands.
What?
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
The owner, like I talked with the owner because he was mutual friends with my parents, I guess. And so he back when I was in high school and playing metalcore, um, he was like super stoked about having my band come and play Boatyard. And then he found out that we did original music, and he was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, we're actually booked up like for the foreseeable future. Like they don't do original music there. If you're playing Boatyard, it's because you're playing a cover show and you're getting paid like $2,000 to play a cover show. It's crazy."
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe during the week, because it seems like they only do stuff like Friday, Saturday. Like if some
Yeah.
promoter goes in there and is like, "Yo, I can pack this out on a Tuesday night with sick local bands and like a touring band," might change it. You know, money speaks, right?
Yeah. There was like it's kind of fizzled out these days, but when I was in high school, there was like a really weird culty music scene in Cornelius that was almost exclusively cover bands, and you had like Studio 13, OTPH, and Boatyard, and you would work your way up through the ranks. You would start out playing Studio 13, and then you would kind of claw your way up and you would play OTPH, and then if you were really good, then you claw your way up from OTPH and play Boatyard. And that chain, I mean, OTPH doesn't exist anymore. Studio 13, I think, stopped doing shows. But back in the day, there was like a really weirdly dense cover band scene in the Cornelius area. It was super weird.
Would have never guessed.
Our first ever time playing on stage was actually at Boatyard.
Yes, it was. Oh my god, first ever Moving Boxes show was at Boatyard. That's insane. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. That's
Jason
crazy.
played drums and I played guitar, and we played Your Graduation by Modern Baseball, and then got off the stage. And that was it.
That was so it proves the cover rule thing about the Boatyard
Yeah.
still. It's
Yeah.
like you still be local, but you know, it's a cover. It's a cover
That's
set.
so funny.
well, like speaking of like acts like that, not necessarily cover acts, but I think like I went to a wedding a few years ago in like the Belmont Gastonia area, and I was just walking in like downtown, probably like downtown Belmont, I feel like, and like Splon Amplifiers was just building a stage in the middle of Main Street, and I was like, I'm like, I know they're from here, but I didn't know what bands or acts were playing. And I'm like, that would be such a cool opportunity to one, get people out to that area, because I feel like nobody really goes
Nobody's going
out to
there.
Belmont
Yeah.
unless you're like, 50 plus. But really just to get people out there and like help out like local businesses and get like eyes on like Splon amplification and stuff like that. Just having like local acts just go out there and play in the middle of Main Street, because there was probably like 300 to 400 people there.
Yeah, that's
Oh
crazy.
my
That's
gosh.
super sick.
This is
Yeah, and
reminding me of Goldsboro. I'm not even gonna lie. My
Bro,
favorite town in North
shout
Carolina.
out Goldsboro.
Bro.
not Greensboro, it's Goldsboro.
It's Goldsboro.
I live here and I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
That's it. We
Yeah,
played.
see?
We got hit up to play a show at this like historic theater in a town called Goldsboro, which is in absolutely the middle of nowhere in North Carolina. It was 4 hours from me, and I live in Charlotte.
It's
But
like
it
an
wasn't
hour
like
east of Raleigh, to put it in perspective.
it was an
Yeah.
hour east of Raleigh, but like it was so fucking weird because it was 4 hours from me in Charlotte, and then I was going to Wilmington after, and it still was far as hell from Wilmington. So I don't understand where it was. And for some reason, we got there off the exit, and there were just hella Wawas. I didn't know that they even had Wawa in North Carolina anywhere. Anyway, that was really silly, and we played to about 20 people, but cool 20 people. They were kind.
The coolest 20 people ever. Dude.
Yeah.
I genuinely cannot. I'm glad it came up really naturally on this podcast, not forced at all. Because I love Goldsboro. I don't know. The crowd was phenomenal. I mean, yeah, we were playing in historic Paramount Theater, like the sit down spot, sit down auditorium, to like the nicest, most interactive 20 people like ever. Really sweet.
It's funny because that's like Aberdeen. Aberdeen's the same way. Like Neon Rooster out there just has like a built-in audience for people
Yeah.
where
It's weird.
you could just go and there's like at least 40 to 50 people just there drinking wine and reminiscing about like Woodstock 69, and you're just kind of like,
That's the shit I'm gonna get on.
this is nowhere near that. But the grocery store next to Neon Rooster has some of the best tacos I've ever had in North Carolina.
Oh,
There you go.
It's just a small Mexican family in that grocery store. And we walked in there and the lady at the register goes, I know what you're here for, honey. It's right over there. And you just walk right back to the back and you got tacos. It was the most wholesome experience I've ever had.
dude,
in a
those are
very
always the
random
best spots. I was recording with my friend in Charlotte, and he was like, "We should go get lunch," and I was like, "Okay." And he took me to we were at a grocery store, and we walked to the back window, and there was a place where they weren't speaking English at all, and I was like, "I know this food's about to be gas." And then my friend, who I didn't know spoke Spanish, just started ordering in fluent Spanish, and he was like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I had like the best tacos I've ever had. This was Tejani for JT and Sophie and Nikhil.
That clocks.
That was so
Yeah.
That's so silly.
Can you name the
That's so
store? Is
sick.
that allowed?
I don't remember. I'll let you know though, because I feel like you'd like it.
Yeah.
I'll text Tejani.
That
I'll say what
seems
was
up
the
my
spot.
alley.
Yeah, it was good as hell.
Speaking of alleys, just kidding. Can I also talk about Alley 51? That's what
Yeah.
I'm getting at here. Have you ever been there?
Plug Alley 51. Plug Alley 51.
Yeah, I'll plug Alley 51. I don't know if it's deserving of a plug, but I like that place. Like it
It's
doesn't
just
need
a
a plug
restaurant
from
in
me.
Charlotte. And Nikhil keeps texting into the group chat and going, "Hey, before the show, he said, hey, before the interview tonight, you guys want to go to Alley 51?"
I did.
I wasn't free. But...
Where the hell is that?
Um,
That's in Charlotte too? I never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's a South Charlotte thing. It's in the Pineville area
Oh,
in
okay.
this international grocery store called Super G Mart. I think Super G Mart also
wait,
exists
it's in the Super
like,
G Mart?
It is in the Super G Mart, yeah.
Oh, then
But
I've
there are
been
two
there.
Super G Marts, I believe. There's one on like East
Oh.
Independence. It's not that one.
The one down in like Matthews area.
Yeah, Pineville Matthews. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's the one I've been to. Okay, then I've been there.
Yeah,
And I've eaten there. That shit's good.
dude, I'm saying, and you should do it again because
Yes, we
there's like
should.
a million things to try there. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm always thinking
Oh,
about it on the low.
It's like a traditional like hawker, like where they just have like a whole
Dude,
bunch of
pretty
different
much, yeah, it's
seafood
like
venues.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of different stalls set up. It does seem like a little bit sensationalized for like, the typical American audience, but hey, I'm for it. I don't know. Yeah, but it's like hawker style. They got all the stalls, sweet treats, everything of the like. And it's within the grocery store, so you can get groceries as well. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
We need more food stalls in grocery stores. Make grocery stores edible again.
Yeah.
Shout out H Mart.
Okay,
Yeah.
every grocery store is edible if you really try. If you
Yeah,
think
you
about
really could, honestly. You could really eat anything in a grocery store if you really tried hard enough.
Guys, we're really good about not talking about our band on a podcast. We're supposed to be talking about our band.
It happens. It happens
Is
to
that
the
the
best of
rule?
us.
It happens
This
all
is
the time
so
on this
awesome.
podcast, all the time. And then we'll be like, oh yeah, how about that show you guys have coming up? And you're like, oh yeah, wait, we're playing Evening News in Charlotte.
Yo,
We had it.
that's so good.
Is that accurate, Justin?
Yeah,
Oh, all right.
right?
Yeah, we can speak about the evening news show, can't we?
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that.
Well,
I
want me
let's,
to
think you
talk about
let's
it?
do
I
it.
don't know, but-
Plug away the shows we
Yeah,
got.
because like
We are playing the Evening News with Pretoria on April 9th. That's the 9th, right?
April
Yes,
11th.
11.
April
April
11th.
11th.
Mhm.
I'm
Shout
not
out
gonna be
Matt.
there. You guys, my band will be there. We'll have cool fill-in. Also, wait, when does this come out?
Tuesday.
This Tuesday? So
Yeah.
our next Charlotte show is the 27th at Snug Harbor. Evening News doesn't exist yet. Evening News doesn't exist yet. Then come to the show at the Snug Harbor on the 27th.
I didn't say
With-
anything, guys. I didn't say a word.
yeah, cut
Uh,
this
Cut
out.
that, cut that, cut that, cut that.
And we're not coming back to Charlotte for months and months and months after the 27th.
Yeah, we literally
Yeah,
won't
see
be
you
there
in
until
June, maybe.
Oh, the March 27th show is with one of my other bands, Big Backyard.
Yeah,
Great band. Awesome band.
exactly. I believe
was-
it's Rocks for Lizards and Mid American Elevator.
This is
rounding
true.
out the bill.
This is
but yeah,
true.
It's gonna be fun. Excited to see you double set, rip it up.
I'm gonna be so tired. I'm gonna be so tired, but it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. This is the first time I'm double setting with a drum band and a guitar band, and I'm a little scared.
Is that
Guitar
true?
band first, drum band second, but it's probably not going to end up that way.
It's not, so that's actually not how it's going, and I'm really scared that after I play the set on drums, my hands are just not gonna work, and the moving boxes set is gonna be really bad because of me.
No,
That'll
you'll be
happen.
fine.
Yeah, it'll be good. When else have you double setted? Just set them out of curiosity.
I think you just said never.
Is that the case?
I've definitely double setted, but it's only ever been guitar shows. I've never double setted a drum show.
You played bass for Blank State the one time at King's.
This is true. This is true. That was kind of unplanned, but yeah, I did bass and guitar back to back. And then there were like, oh yeah, I guess I haven't. I don't know. I'd have to go back in the archives. I feel like I've double setted more than that, but I'm not thinking of any.
Well, have you triple
You'll be
setted?
fine.
Because Justin had a drummer that did a triple set.
It was technically like a
Two and a half.
set.
Two and a half set.
Jeez.
Because one drummer, he learned half the set, and then another drummer learned the second half of the set. So halfway through that, they would switch. But the size difference of the drummers was like 1.5 feet. So second drummer would have to go up and fix all the stands
Oh jeez.
because Julian is a tall Frenchman soccer player that is just a beautiful creature, and he would just fix everything back up. And the other thing was he would hit the bass drum so hard that we had to put a cinder block in front of the bass drum so that it wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then someone had to sit on the cinder block at one venue because there was no rug. So he was just sitting in front, just eye contact with the drummer the entire time.
That's so funny, man.
It was a great, I think that was Bardown year 1 that we did.
That was.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That was a
Oh.
fun. Yeah.
Okay, I promise this is the last time I'm going to talk about myself, but I
It's
just
your
remembered there
podcast.
was a show where I double setted and also played guitar and drums in the same set. It was one of the first Moving Boxes shows. Moving Boxes played with my old metalcore band, Forever We Roam, and I played the first half of the Moving Boxes set on drums, and Sophie was on guitar. And then the second half of the Moving Boxes set, I played guitar, and we had our original drummer play drums, who at the time was not in the band. He was just there. So I played half of a Moving Boxes set on drums, half of a Moving Boxes set on guitar, and then there was like one band in between. And then my high school metalcore band went up, and I played guitar for that. A band or two after. that was a weird show. And I forgot that I did that until just now.
You're like the original
That
American
is
Theory.
weird.
Well, I love American Theory.
I love American Theory. Shout out those guys. They're so awesome.
We got to talk about Sets Fest if we're going to talk about multiple sets.
No, we don't.
We need
Yeah,
to
we
talk
do.
about Set
Yeah, we
Fest.
do.
No, we don't.
You
Give
got
us
rookie
stats, and what is
numbers
this
like
best?
2.5, 3. How about 5, huh?
I had a show where I played 5 sets in a row, and it wasn't my idea. And somebody, okay, here's the initial idea for the show. I had this friend who was like, "Hey, I know this Bojangles that will let me do a show there. Can I just get all 5 of your bands to play in a Bojangles?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's funny as hell." And then she was like, "Hey, the Bojangles changed their mind. We're doing it at the Milestone." And I said, "So now we're just doing a show at the Milestone with all of my bands, and that's it, and it has my name on it." And I just showed up like confused, and it sold out, so that was cool. But I did 5 sets. That was a
Isn't
lot.
that the curse of the drummer though, where you're in like
Yes.
5 different
Yes.
bands because you're
Yeah.
the drummer?
I've done a few tours where I played drums for 2 bands on the same tour.
Kids, start playing the
we have-
drums.
Yes, please. I'm tired.
Job
We have a-
security forever.
Yeah, a little bit.
Underground Fest, and it's like all the punk bands in Florida will come to Orlando and play this like 3-day festival. And it's not Fest in Gainesville; it's like a separate Orlando every year. And there's this one drummer called Billy, and every time I go, "Hey Billy, how many sets are you doing this weekend?" He's like, "I can't count it on 2 hands."
That shit is so crazy.
He's doing like 3 sets, 4 sets a day, just because
That shit is
our
so
drummer
crazy.
couldn't make it. Billy, can you play? He's already in like 1 band in Melbourne, 3 bands in Orlando, 1 band in Sanford, and he's just like, "Yeah, man, whatever, I'll do it." And he just learns someone's set by just listening to like it like on a playlist like 2 or 3 times. He's like, "Yeah, it's fine, I got it." It's all pretty much like the same punk beats here and there, but I'm just like, "How many sets you playing? Is that your kit? Like, are you just backlining your kit because you're playing the entire set, the entire night?" And it's just the curse of the drummer, man. It's just, and if you're the only drummer, you're usually the only drummer in like a 200-mile radius.
Yes.
So you're playing in
Yep.
every band.
Yeah. It's fun, but it's crazy. Somebody asked me to fill in for them, and I was like, let me look at how many sets I have that I'm working on right now. And I was like, I'm playing for 8 bands between now and May. That's not an exaggeration. So I was like, I just don't have more room in my brain. Like, and so I said no. I said no for like the first time, but yeah, it's crazy.
Now,
If we
we
can
will
brag on Seth for a second. Sorry.
keep going.
Rag on him.
Rag on
Oh,
him.
yeah. He is playing drums for Thoughts on Bowling on tour. So
Damn.
he's prepping for that right now, which is awesome. And
That shit's crazy. I don't know if you guys know who Thoughts on Bowling are, but it's my first time drumming for a headlining tour where the shows are selling out already, which is kind of crazy. So if you live it's a full US. So if you live anywhere in the US between April 9th and May 10th, come see me somewhere. It'll be
Well,
fun.
I have a mission for you, because
Yeah.
you guys are playing with Moose Creek Park a few of those shows.
Yeah.
You gotta just
For almost half the tour. Yeah, they're sick as hell.
Even though you probably don't give a shit about hockey, I need you to just talk shit to Ryan from Moose Creek Park and just be like, "Yo, man, let's go Islanders." Like, just see what he does.
That's so fucking funny.
See what he says. I'm sure
Um,
he'll instantly love you.
I've actually never met the Moose Creek people. Moving Boxes was supposed to play with them a while back, but they had to drop. I forget why. So I'm really excited to play with them a lot on that tour.
Wait, really?
Oh, they're so freaking good.
Yeah.
There's
And I
It was
think
the
I
there's-
know
show.
we used to, we were buds with them on TikTok, like before they had any clout. We used to interact with their TikTok like back and forth, and we had a little message chain going, and then I deleted our TikTok, and we just like lost touch, and now they're really big, and I don't think they would remember who we are anymore because it has been actual years.
Maybe they would.
That's
I'll talk
crazy.
to them.
I feel like they would. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about, didn't we got like a fake tour offer last summer about like, it was like Moose Creek Park and Riley. You wanted to hop
No, we
on?
had a show. It was Moose Creek Park and Park National because it was double park, and then Moose Creek Park had to drop, but we still played. It was the Primrose show.
Oh, the Primrose one. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Nikhil, you were right though. We did get a tour offer that was like
It was
I
just
know
this
it was Moose Creek
overzealous
Park. I
kid,
felt like
right?
it was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
It's
some kid, and they
hilarious.
were like, "Hey, I'm booking a tour with Riley in Moose Creek Park. Do you want to be on it?" And we were like, "Sure." And
Yeah.
then they were like, "By the way, I haven't asked any of the other bands, and I don't know them." And we were like, "Oh, tight."
It's his fantasy tour
No hate
lineup.
towards that kid. Like that kid just seemed to love emo music, so that's cool. But that was silly because we got so fucking excited, and then we
Just
like
had some
yeah,
ideas. Yeah, it was cool.
but it happened.
Dude,
Nice to
sometimes
float
you
by
got to just
us.
fake it till you make it. Like, I hate to
Yeah,
bring it back to
honestly.
hockey again, but there's this literally an owner of the New York Islanders who bought the team and he only had $10,000 in his bank account. Oh, $10,000 is a lot of money, but like not enough money to own an NHL franchise. Like, he literally had no money, and he was like this close to pulling it off. But now he's in jail. Like, he got busted for it. But like,
He's a
oh yeah, he's in jail for this. Yeah, but like, he was this close to actually pulling it off because he landed a TV contract that was gonna like front him the money. Then he would take that money and then go pay the NHL all the money that he owed. But like, yeah, Kevin Conley did a whole documentary on it. It's on like ESPN. So shout out to
He's
that.
the Bernie Madoff of hockey.
Yeah, his name's John Spano.
That's wild.
John Spano. It's a crazy story.
That's bad.
That's so.
So we didn't get that, but we got heated rivalry instead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
pretty cool,
apologized
though.
for bringing it back to hockey, and I was like, in this climate, don't apologize at all.
It's very
Well, it's funny because my
real topical and relevant.
my wife has started a hockey like book club, and like, I'm a huge hockey fan. So when she was like, "Yeah, can I get some of your friends' wives to like do a book club about hockey?" I was like, "Hell yeah! Like, this is great! Like, let's get all the girls like really into it." And they're like reading these romance novels. I'm like, "Oh no, that's not what I was thinking."
You're thinking they're going to come over and watch hockey with you.
Yes.
They're going to watch hockey in their brains, and it's going to be everyone making out with the goalie and trying to get it in his 5-hole. That's what they're trying to do.
I guess so.
I guess so.
My mom used to call kissing tonsil hockey. Hate that. So
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fun.
Hate that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What the hell?
I know.
Wait, you guys never heard that? No one else has heard
no,
that?
is that a no?
That's a
Wow.
thing.
You can't all be hockey nerds.
That's a
Sorry.
thing.
No, it's a very
I'm just
uncomfortable
kidding. I'm
phrase
just
from like the
kidding.
80s and 90s.
What?
It's a super uncomfortable phrase.
That's
And then you
awesome.
realize where the tonsils are, and you're just like, what?
It's really far back, isn't it?
It's like,
It's a thing.
it's a
Oh my
thing.
god. Whoa.
Like, we just made everybody uncomfortable. I think that's a
Fair
Bardown
enough.
first, making everybody in the chat uncomfortable.
Where do we go from here? You know, it's like, I don't know.
Where do you go from tonsil hockey?
I'm
I
just
don't know.
Guys, it wasn't me this time. It wasn't me this time.
Do people still get tonsillitis? Is that a thing? I feel like I
Yes,
haven't
that
heard
shit's
about
real.
this in a
That shit's
while.
real. That shit's my biggest fear, dude.
Oh, is
Nothing.
it?
Nothing makes me want to live less than having a sore throat. What the fuck? Like, dude, strep throat is the sickest I've ever been. I played a show with strep throat. Didn't know I had strep throat. I wouldn't have gone if I knew I had strep throat. I just knew I didn't feel good.
Yeah, was that
And
the one at Amos for Breezy V?
no, that was with an insane stomach bug that I didn't know that I had until 15 minutes after doors. And there were over 200 people there, and I was positive I was going to throw up on stage, but I said, "Here we go," and I didn't throw up on stage. But it was the most miserable I've ever been on
It's
stage.
show adrenaline.
Actually,
It just gets you through
I-
it.
At the Hangar show that I played with you, Justin,
Yeah.
with Moving Boxes, I was just getting over being the sickest I've ever been by far. I had a 103 fever. Not by the time I was playing that show, but I was still so sick. So I pulled up. I didn't talk to anybody. I played our set, and I felt like I was in third person. I'm so good at pushing through being sick usually, but I was like watching myself hit the drums. For some reason, the monitor next to me on stage wasn't on, and I just didn't have it in me to ask. And it's a 500 cap room, so everything was coming back to me off time, and I was so lightheaded. I played the set genuinely terribly, and then I loaded out and I went home. So I didn't see you guys. It was crazy. Anyway, that's how I remember that show.
But
But-
also, the venue was like it had people in there, but it was also like comically empty for how big it was.
Yeah.
So it was just pure echo just coming
Yes.
right back at you, like, because
Yeah.
there was nothing to
Nothing to
fill
diffuse
the
it, yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
It's just like, we're like, oh, okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I'm on time.
I had
I'm
genuinely
truly
I had negative idea what was going on at that show. Like that was really silly, but
And then Aaron
Was
West
this
and the
for
Roaring
Emo
Twenties played
Royale?
like 4 days later.
Yes.
no, it wasn't any Morel. It was different hanger show.
Yeah.
It was a Bardown show.
Mhm.
It was Seneca Burns and Out of Time and some other people and
Gotcha,
us.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm truly so sorry that you met us at that show because that was a rough one. Seth was having an out of body experience, and then me and Sophie, like individually in our personal lives, were having like the worst time ever. So I normally try to be very social at shows, and at that show, I spent the entire show sitting in my car, just like trying not to blow my shit smooth off.
Yeah, I think I left early as well because I was like, guys, I just can't be here right now. I need to go home, which is actually crazy. So let's play together again and have that not happen.
We'll relive the experience in like a better vibe.
Yes,
Yep.
please.
But that is the show where I met Eli from Fifth Floor, so it all
Oh,
turned out to be
Eli
okay.
was there?
Mm.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's
I
crazy.
didn't know he was too
Shout
sick.
out Fifth Floor.
No, I didn't know I didn't know the first time Eli saw me play drums, I was terrible at them. I need to apologize.
Well,
to him.
was it?
Well, no, that was the first time that I didn't know he was a musician. I was in the pit briefly for Seneca Burns, I believe, and was moshing and like ran into Eli a bunch of times. And every time I did it, he would just get this like shit-eating grin and dap me up.
I
And
love
he
him
was like
so
the
much.
nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
And we were like instant friends after that. I love that guy to death. He's so awesome. Shout out Fifth Floor. Everyone should go listen to Fifth Floor.
Yes.
Real.
Does
The album
anybody
is
know
fire.
who gave Atticus the GIMP mask that he played on stage with? Because that was 100% a GIMP mask. Like it had a zipper. It wasn't like a luchador mask. And he just put it on his head and just played like 3 songs in a GIMP
Dude, I
mask.
forgot about that.
And I don't think I ever asked him about it because like that was like a bad night for them.
It was a bad night for everybody. I don't know what was.
Well, it wasn't supposed to
going
happen
on.
there, right? The show was supposed to be
Yeah,
at the
I
Den.
know. It was supposed to happen at the Den.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a 90 an 85 cap, I think. So moving it to a 500 cap in a slightly different city was rough, but it was fun.
Yeah. And that was like with like a week notice, if not even like it wasn't
probably
yeah.
like maybe a week,
Yeah.
which was wild to think about. Where you're just like, I guess we're doing it here. I think I emailed every single venue in Greensboro, and they were just like, we don't do shows on that day. We don't do shows on that day. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Just open your doors.
Yeah.
Like it'll be fine. And we just went to the Sheets next door and just loaded up on whatever fried food they had at Sheets.
Yeah.
But it was honestly, it was a really fun show. And I met somebody who was like a friend of a friend who just showed up because my friend told him to be there. So it was just like a strange occurrence overall. And he came up to me, he goes, "Hey, you're Justin, right? You're Dave's friend, Dave Courtney." And I was like, "Yeah, how do you know Dave?" And he's like, "Oh, we grew up together here in Greensboro. Like we went to school together. We did all this stuff." And I was just like, "We got to take a picture." I'm like, I selfie with everybody that my friend Dave Courtney knows that comes to shows.
Yeah.
So it was like, I think he was like the 4th person because the last person I took a selfie with was the guitarist from Noir, who also knows Dave. And we were just like, send it to Dave.
Are you building a 7 degrees to Dave Courtney? Is that the name?
No, because I'm 1 degree to Dave Courtney. He sang in my old band.
Well, you're
Yeah,
also
So
you're
now
every-
I'm just meeting.
you also
I'm
are
meeting
addressing him
everybody
wrong.
else.
Every time you talk about Dave Courtney, you have to first start with 2-time Stanley Cup champion Dave Courtney.
2-time Stanley Cup champion Dave Courtney.
There you go. Better.
Yeah, he's the content director or senior content director for the Florida Panthers. Yeah,
That's so sick.
I remember when he first got that job, and like he would just get us free tickets to go to hockey games, and it would
Oh.
always be like "Oh yeah, your tickets are at box office," and it would be like, "Hey, like we're here to pick up tickets from Dave." He's like, "Oh, are you Seymour Butts?" And it would always be like some random name, like. And that's how we would pick up the tickets, but the tickets were always like really good because nobody would go to Panther games at the time. So
Yeah.
like it was like we were one of like 4,000 people in this huge venue. And we would go. I'm like, oh, we're gonna go watch Stanley Cup champions, the Boston Bruins. We're gonna go watch, the Rangers. We're gonna go watch the Reds, like the Red Wings. And it was just like nobody was there except for like fans of the other team. And we would always get on the. He would always put us on the kiss cam. It would always be like happy anniversary to James and Justin, and you would just see us like in the anniversary cam, and he would be like, yo, I'm gonna put you guys on camera, and he's next to the camera guy. He's like, 3, 2, 1, go, kiss. So that was like the experience. That's just who Dave was when he was doing all that stuff. And
That's so good.
now he's in a more corporate position for the Panthers, and he's wearing suits now. But yeah, like that's just who Dave Courtney is, and he's just one of my favorite people that I never get to see.
That's so awesome.
Two-time Stanley Cup champion. Yeah.
Two-time Stanley Cup champion. He doesn't play for them,
But he's got the rings.
He's got the rings.
He's got the rings. His team
That's
won, right?
awesome.
So,
That's all
twice.
that matters.
Now, I'm just
Oh man.
curious. I know we talked specifically about some of these Charlotte shows. Do you have any other North Carolina or regional shows coming up as well?
Not gonna leak anything too crazy, but May 22nd is like our big old Raleigh show. So people should block that off, perhaps. Other than that, we don't have a whole lot of crazy stuff going on, and we've been working on the album mostly. But we'll be around. Watch our Instagram.
Mm.
Yeah.
We'll be busy working on music videos. So
Yeah,
That's absolutely right.
I love that. Love that it happened here on Bardown Breakdown. We got the album release date. We got the inside scoop on music videos. We got shows that aren't even announced yet. We got it all.
Hell yeah.
Yo,
But guys, thank you so much for hanging. I know we've been chatting for over an hour. We got a little silly, but this was a lot of fun and way overdue. So
Hell yeah.
thank
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for hanging, and I can't wait to
Yeah, thanks so much.
hear the singles, hear the album, and To the Moon moving boxes. We love you guys.
Thank you guys so
we
much.
love
We
you
love you.
guys too.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for having us.
Hell yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Peace.
See you guys.
Have a good night, guys.
Citizens.